Hello everyone, so welcome to the world of English. Only for English learning. So now, we will discuss all about the 20 rules of subject-verb agreement. So there are 20 rules of subject-verb agreement. First, subjects and verbs must agree in number. This is the cornerstone rule that forms the background of the concept. Subjects and verbs must agree in number. So for example, the dog growls when he is angry. The dogs growls when they are angry. So the answer, the dog growls when he is angry. Because in the first statement, the dog is singular. So it needs a singular verb too. So when it comes to singular verb, the word has an S. Okay, so unlike in noun, when it requires plural form, it needs to add S or ES. Or in some cases, it adds I, change Y to I and add ES. And in the second statement, the dogs growl when they are angry. So as you can see, the subject are dogs. Okay, so dogs are many. So it is a plural form. So it requires a plural form of the verb, which is growl. So when they are angry. So in the first statement, the subject is singular, so it requires singular verb. Then in the second statement, the subject are plural, so it requires a plural form of the verb. So that is the first rule. Second, don't get confused by the words that come between the subject and verb. They do not affect agreement. So please remember, in the second rule of subject-verb agreement, don't get confused by the words that come between the subject and the verb. So in subject-verb agreement, you need to identify the subject, whether it is a singular or a plural form. So, question. So, the dog who is chewing on my jeans is usually very good. So, what do you think is the correct form of the verb? So, identify first the subject. So, what is the subject? So, the dog. So, what are the additional words which the reader be confused? So, who is chewing on my jeans? So, don't be bothered about these additional words. So, just focus on the subject. So, the subject is the dog. So, the dog is singular. So, it requires a singular verb. So, between are and is, so which is a singular and which is a plural? So, is a singular, then are is a plural form of the verb. So, the answer is the dog who is chewing on my jeans is usually very good. So, is the correct form of the verb since the dog is in the singular form of the subject. Okay, so that is the second rule. The third is prepositional phrases between the subject and verb usually do not affect the agreement. Ano po? So, prepositional phrases between the subject and verb usually do not affect agreement. So, let us take a look the example on the rule number 3. The colors of the rainbow are beautiful. So, what is the subject on the given statement? So, the subject is the colors of the rainbow. So, when we say the colors, it is in the plural form of the subject. The subject is in plural form. So, the colors of the rainbow. So, it requires a plural form of the verb. So, between is and are, the plural form are. So, the colors of the rainbow are beautiful. So, that's the number 3 rule. So, next, what is the rule? Okay, when sentences start with there or here, the subject will always be placed after the verb. So, care needs to be taken to identify it correctly. So, when sentences again start with there or here, the subject will always be placed after the verb. So, care needs to be taken to identify it correctly. Let us take a look the example in the number 4 rule on the subject-verb agreement. So, question, there are a problem with the balance sheet. Here are the papers you ask. Okay, so when the statement or the sentence start with there or here, so after so the subject will always be placed after the verb. Okay. So here, so what is the subject here? So there are a problem with the balance sheet. So the subject here is a problem. So in the first statement, the subject is a problem, which is singular. So the singular between is or are is. So there is a problem with the balance sheet. In the second statement, here are the papers you ask. So after the verb is the subject. So after the verb, whether is or are, so the papers. So the papers is in the plural form of the noun. Okay. So the papers is the subject which it is in the plural form. So the answer is are, since are is the plural form of the verb. So here are the papers you requested. So there is a problem with the balance sheet. Here are the papers you requested. Next. So what is the 5th rule in subject-verb agreement? So subjects don't always come before verbs in questions. Make sure you accurately identify the subject before deciding on the proper verb form to use. So subjects don't always come before verbs in questions. Okay, let us take a look the example in the 5th rule. Okay, question, does Lefty eat its grass? So, where are the pieces of this puzzle? So, in the first statement or the first question, does Lefty eat grass? So, the answer is eat. Okay, does Lefty eat its grass? So the answer is eat. Okay? Then where are the pieces of the puzzle? So where are the pieces? Because they are in the first statement, does Lifty usually eat grass? Then where are the pieces of this puzzle? So pieces of the puzzle is the subject, which is in the the subject is in the plural form. So it requires a plural form of the verb. So that is for today. We just tackle first the first five on the subject verb agreement. Okay, so on the next video, I will tackle again the another five of the subject verb agreement rule. That's all for today. Thank you.